Confused.
Upset.
Painful.
Afraid.
Isolated.
Frustrated.
Different.
Afraid.
Alone.
Singled out.
Exhausted.
I've had arthritis my whole life. Ever since I can remember. I was diagnosed when I was 3. So arthritis has been affecting me ever since I can remember.
It's kind of, sometimes it can be really bad. You could be stiff and you could, it's kind of like having been running around for ages and the next day you're just tired, really tired, like you've just been running all day.
In school, I find it very difficult because I do so many different things to everybody in school. I have a note to walk around when I'm stiff, but I also have I get locker movements, and I have a bag I get to carry to classes to carry my books because everybody else has to carry them.
People always say, it must be easier because you've never not had it. But I'm surrounded by people who don't have it, and they live a different life, and you see that. And it is hard to watch, and it's hard to not take part in things.
I do get stiff and things, and I can't do things that my sister can do because she's a gymnast, but I always push her and it's fine that way.
I had to give up Gaelic and hurling, and it's tough, like seeing all your friends going out and you're like, I just can't go out, like, and they can never understand what you're going through. You have to explain to them in the best way possible, but they never truly understand what it's like to have it and what it's like to not be able to go out with your friends and being tired all the time. Like, you just think you're lazy, but you're not.
Now I don't really mind because I'm kind of used to what happens every day. Like, I have injections now and then. I'm just used to it now. But when I was smaller, I used to be really upset about having injections, and I didn't really like it at all.
So I used to feel stiff in the mornings, and I used to have to get lifted out of bed. I used to have trouble going up the stairs, and just real difficulty doing anything real physical.
I haven't been able to horse ride with my sister or, do a lot of physical stuff with her, and that's been really hard just to see like my family and friends go out and do things and really wanting to do it, but just knowing that you don't want to suffer the consequences of doing it, like the pain the next day or having to dose up your meds or anything.
Well, for me it's quite easy to go to hospital because I live like 5 minutes down the road, so it's only a 5-minute walk, never mind drive, so that's a lot easier. But it's still the hospital, and it still takes a lot out of you.
Well, it's about saying that you have arthritis, you have lupus, you have Raynaud's, but you are able to do whatever you want. It's your choice, it's not the arthritis telling you you can't. It's up to you to say what you can and can't do. And I think meeting all the new people, to get in contact with people, to have that support system around you is very good.
When you were talking to my mum, and my mum was like, oh, that sounds great, but I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I knew, I was like, no. But then it came closer and I had filled out the form and all, and I just said, Mum, I might as well do it, and it's only off me, so my mum could have just drove up and collected me, but it was like the best thing I've ever done since I came here. But I done rock climbing, canoeing, the most randomest things that I thought I'd never get to do again.
You see, it's a challenge, but it challenges you in a way that you can do it, but it challenges you, but you can do it, is what I like to it. And there's always something more you can do, even when you complete the whole thing. It's always something more that you can get at.
I really enjoyed myself last year, so I decided to come again this year and to meet new people and to understand more about arthritis.
I first came on the road trip last year, and at the time, I've had it since I was a baby, and at the time it was sort of new to me that this was my disease. It wasn't my parents' problem, it wasn't my doctor's problem, it was mine. And I was having a hard time coping with that, so I thought best get out there and meet other people with it, see if they're feeling what I'm feeling, because I felt very isolated in that my friends didn't get it and my parents tried to understand, they didn't get it. Like, no one really understood what it was like to feel the pain, the tiredness, and to have that be sort of, at the time, a defining factor in who I was.
And then I was on Meditrex like when I was 11 until 13, and then I started to go into remission. But like coming back to that here, it's real different, you know, because like it brings back the memories of like how I used to be, and it's good that I can help other people, like, you know, get through arthritis and how it affects them.
It's just a reality to know that there's someone else besides me who has it, and I can talk to them.
Being a mentor here means a lot, because when I was younger and I had arthritis, it was really like not kind of these type of weekends, and it's so good for anyone that's involved, because when you're like younger as a child or a teenager, you want to be as active as possible, but with the arthritis you can't, and it restrains you with your normal friends at home, but you try and keep up with them and you can't, and you just don't understand. But when you're down here, you're with like people that are the same as you, they understand you. Like, the other people will never understand you, but they do.
So I came here hoping to meet lovely people, which I did, and been friends ever since, and made new friends this year, including you.
I got to speak to people that know exactly what I'm going through, and I thought that no one would understand, because I thought it was like on my own, and like even the little things, like say, oh, my neck would be sore, but then they'd be like, oh my god, me too, try this, and then everyone like helps each other, and you find ways around the simplest things that I thought were just my little problems. But it's not just my problems, everyone has their problems, but they're all connected.
It's fine. I was yesterday doing for about an hour and I could barely move my fingers. But when you're doing it, it's weird, the pain just goes away. So when you're not doing it, it's really painful, but I think it's when you're concentrating on it, you know, concentrating on your pain.
Actually, as a child, I was never able to do a lot of sports, and I was told I wouldn't be allowed to do this, I wouldn't allow me to do that. But now that I'm in remission, I took part in a skydive for Arthritis Ireland 2 years ago, which was one of my wildest dreams. I would have been never able to do that as a child with severe arthritis. I try and play 2 sports teams, and only last year I think I played my first ever game of rugby, which the doctor always told me, one sport I was never allowed to do. And my job involves standing, walking, running, and I try and, you know, have as active a life as possible now that I can. Well, my advice to the younger teenagers would be always keep active and always look towards the future as much as you can.
And I can't believe that I didn't want to come.
And you know, it's nice to have friends who understand what you're going through.
Just keep going.
Together! I'll be standing on